Hey everyone, this is Reverend Bill, and I hope everyone had a wonderful Labor Day. It's about 11:30 p.m. And this is Reverend Bill, and today is September 2nd. And let's get right to it. We got quite a few things to cover today. So let's share that screen out. Let's see, and here we go. So, for those of you who are Dexter fans like I was, there is a new show, Dexter Resurrection. I did not watch Dexter New Blood, um, which I guess now is on Paramount Plus. It probably is a prerequisite to watching Dexter Resurrection. I did not watch, as I mentioned. I probably should have. I'm going to watch Dexter New Blood now after watching Dexter Resurrection. So I will say, those of you who have not watched Dexter Resurrection probably should watch Dexter New Blood. It does follow in a sequence. There is, I guess, a Dexter Original Sin too, which I did not watch, that you don't need to watch before you watch this. So it should go Dexter Original Series, Dexter New Blood, Dexter Resurrection. But if you did not watch Dexter New Blood, and you just went Dexter Original Series, Dexter Resurrection, you will miss some things. But as I found out, it's not all lost. You can actually pick up, but you do miss a chunk. But I recovered, so you can also recover. But I'm going to go back and watch New Blood now to put all the missing pieces in. But it can be done, as I did. So let me get back to the review now. A lot of people saying that, Dexter's back. I will not disagree. It seems to be more or less back. In this, he's doing, he's gone to New York City. He's left Miami and he's in New York City. He's not doing the lumberjack anymore. He's doing kind of an Uber thing, a ride share. I forget what they're calling it, a U-car or something. But yeah, he's taken his act to New York City. He's there with his son, Harrison. I'm not going to spoil a lot for you, but it's got a lot of the Dexter that we're used to. I'm not going to say he's completely back. There's a lot of good stuff there. So yeah, there's a lot of good things going on. I won't say it's completely back. I will say that if you're going by the reviews, a lot of people especially liked the ending. It's not completely over. There's 10 episodes. There's 9 out now. I think there's a 10th one that's coming out on the 4th. So I've only seen the 9 that are out. The reviews seem to get better and better. This last one, episode 9, got a 9.9. Quite frankly, I'm not sure why. I do like all the episodes, but I found, my personal opinion was that I actually found the last couple to be a little on the disappointing end. Not to say that I didn't like them, but I didn't find them getting higher. I actually would have scored them a little lower. But all in all, I did like it. So yeah, I would say that it certainly is worth the watch. So yeah, I liked it. I would recommend it. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's completely back. I wouldn't say it's completely. It certainly is better than the last couple of seasons of Dexter. I'll say that. I would say that these shows captured Dexter at not quite its peak, but very close. But then again, I've not seen the end of the season. Maybe the next last episode peaks. It might be rival the best seasons of Dexter. So I don't. If I'm sounding like I'm not fully on board, it's only because I've not seen the last episode. So it's hard to give a complete thumbs up when I've not actually seen how it plays out yet. I'm cautiously optimistic, but so far, I would say I'm pleased. And I've got to go back and watch the New Blood. So yeah, but one thing I do like is I do like the idea that his I guess I don't even know what you'd call the father, whether it's his counter, his alter ego, his conscience, his mentor, whatever you want to call the apparitions of the father. I didn't like him with Deb. I liked him with his father, and the father coming back is a nice touch. I thought that was when he was at his best. When his father was the one who was kind of the angel on his shoulder, as so to speak, and that's back. There's a lot of things to like about this new Dexter, and I like it. So yeah, I do like this, and I will recommend it. I got to see the New Blood though, because I have missed quite a bit. Okay, so let's see what else we got going on here. This is a test from Oklahoma. They sent out a test for, it was designed by PragerU, if you're familiar with that. It's kind of a conservative, younger organization. And they did a test to weed out woke teachers that don't understand how education is essentially devised. It's to teach children, not to teach them woke ideas. This was the 34 question test that they give out to Oklahoma, and they passed it around. I guess they were getting pushback, and they encouraged teachers. They encouraged Oklahoma and other teachers to take this exam as an entrance for certification, and they actually published it. I actually went to the website. You can take it to certify. They printed this exam, and I copied it just so you guys can look it over. I actually took it to see if I could certify, and I did certify. I got one wrong, and one wrong was I rushed through it, and I could think I missed. They actually asked to the president during the Depression, and I'm the New Deal, and I didn't read the New Deal. I didn't read the whole question, and I missed. I knew, of course, it mentioned the New Deal. I would have gotten Roosevelt, but anyway. Regardless, I read a question incorrectly, and I got one wrong, but the rest I got the rest right. So I almost got 100% on it. But I did qualify. I'm certified to teach in Oklahoma. The rest I got obviously correct, but. So I got one on my historical inaccuracy, which I immediately kicked myself when I read the question correctly. I should have gotten the 100%. But anyway, the test pretty much is a very simple test. It's common sense, unless you're woke. Who's in charge? I mean, I'll go through a few of these questions. They're really not that hard. Who's got the ultimate right to the education of the children? The parents, of course. What are the fundamental biological distinction, height or weight between the male and female, the chromosomes and the anatomy of a child, obviously. How's the child's biological sex identified, personal feelings, chromosomes. And again, which chromosomes determine biological sex? I would hope everyone knows it's the XXXY. Again, I'll go with these slowly so you can guys look at them, yourselves. Why is it the distinction between male and female considered important? To increase participation in sports, to enhance self-esteem, to preserve fairness, integrity for both sexes. What are the first three words of the Constitution? Goodness gracious, we don't know that. Anyway, yeah, they have this listed if you actually want to go and go through the whole thing. And I just listed the first 10 questions here. You can go through them. Why is the freedom of religion important in America? It bans all forms of public worship. These are things you really should know in third grade. And if teachers do not, it reminds me back in college years ago. They were pushing competency tests for teachers. I'll never forget this. And we had a newspaper, and they had a picture of teachers standing outside saying no competency test for teachers, and they misspelled competency. And I think it's my philosophy teacher actually brought the newspaper with that headline, no no competency test for teachers, and the teacher misspelled competency. Unbelievable. All right, next one we have here. James Gunn is actually, I hope he's just humoring her. But I guess there was some ideas in the work of giving Viola Davis her own TV show where she's an action hero. Um, you know, this girl boss stuff. I really hope that he's humoring her. He has taken over. Um, he has taken over DC. And I know this girl boss thing was really big a couple of years ago, but this woke thing I thought was being put to bed. And I really, really hope that he's just kind of like, sure, Viola, whatever you say, we'll kind of come back to that. There's no doubt in my mind that they were at one time so completely crazy out of their mind with woke ideologies that they were entertaining something so ridiculous as this when they were doing that G24 and the Woman King. Why did they come up with that Woman King? Is Queen not a word anymore? The Woman King. About that absolutely abysmal, disgusting tribe that actually sold people into slavery, which I don't want to get into that again, but that tribe actually was one of the diehards. They did not want to give up selling. If you look in that history, that tribe did not want to give up selling their own people into slavery. They were a diehard. That tribe was absolutely horrendously despicable and disgusting the way they actually tried pushing slavery, even after all the other countries did not want to buy slaves anymore. They just continued to push slavery. They're one of the few tribes that actually continued to push slavery when slavery was dead. They're so despicable. And they made a movie called The Woman King to make them, glorious. And Viola Davis had no problem making a buck off glorifying a disgusting tribe. But anyway, that's something near here. They're getting off that. So they wanted to give her an Amanda Waller TV show, and she wants to know where it is because everyone needs a frumpy, nearly 60. If she's not 60 yet, she's near 60. She's awfully close to 60. I mean, like 59, 60. And she wants to do some kind of an action hero TV show. No one wants it. No one will watch it. Her movies, I think her G24 movie went straight to Prime. So we really can't find out how badly that bombed. But The Woman King, I think, if it made anything, it probably made its money back. Might have lost money. But a TV show is absolutely going to fail, especially now that woke's dead. So if James Gunn is really going to decide to lose a bunch of money, sure, go ahead. But if they're really entertaining this is just a huge money loss. So yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see more money being lost by DC over something so stupid. But yeah, go ahead. Absolutely. I'd love to do a show on how badly it's doing in the ratings. Absolutely. Go for it. Yeah, nice. Okay. Now this is this is wonderful. Her income, let's see, I think, where's that percentage? It's here. I wrote it in there, but it hasn't come up. Let's just make it. Her income there we go. Her income has gone up 3,500%. Unbelievable. So she was worth $51,000, and now she's worth $30 million, and her salary is only $174,000. Well, I'll tell you what, it's amazing how this is done. Her husband is actually a capital. Hold on. Oh, where is it? There it is. capital venturist. And somehow his capital stocks went from 51,000. It's actually his money. And his portfolio went from 51,000 to 30 million in 1 year. I wonder how that happens. How does that happen? That's amazing. He had a really good year. He had a really, really good year. I wonder how that happens, though. It happened to Nancy Pelosi, too. It seems that once you get someone in Congress, your husband suddenly gets big brains and your net worth just skyrockets. It's absolutely incredible. Really is. Wow. And, she's a socialist, too. So she really doesn't even need this money because she's a socialist. Wow. It's great how that happens. I wonder if she's going to give that money back to the state so that her comrades can enjoy it. I wouldn't think so, though. Just a hunch. Just a hunch. But boy, it's great how that happens. Yep. Her husband only, his portfolio goes from 51,000 to 30 million. Wow. Now, let's take a look at this. There's a parade route in Brooklyn, and 6 are shot at a West Indian parade. Wow. Look at this happy parade in Brooklyn. 6 people were shot around a West Indian American Day parade. What could have happened? It looks like such a happy parade. These people are just festive. It's the annual West Indian Day parade. But these people just want to have fun. They look so innocent and happy. Oh, what's happening? Simulated sex. Wow. That seems like a very strange way of behaving. Very strange. Horns. Gee, what kind of parade could this be? Look, this is absolutely nothing less than satanic, is what this is. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about the fact that Satan is basically at our back door. They have these things, and they're just basically devil worshiping. And they're doing this, and people are okay with it. But it's absolutely devil worship. And how can people not know that these are absolutely satanic, basically demons? These are demons that are orchestrating these things, and they're Satanists, and they're marching up and down, and they're parading themselves in our backyard, and they're wondering why there's violence and shootings, and people are just going to be okay. And it's not. It is basically flagrant Satanism on our streets. And I'm not surprised 6 people were killed. I'm not surprised that there was mass violence. And I don't know, honestly, I don't really know how we can do anything about it, because they have the legal right of assembly, but we don't have to embrace it, I suppose. We don't have to attend. We certainly don't have to encourage our children. We can shun these things, but devil worship is becoming more and more accepted, and it's becoming more and more flagrant. It's on our movies, it's on our shows, it's on our music, it's on, as I mentioned, Christian Bale getting up there and thanking Satan. It's what Sam Smith getting up there and dressing like Satan. It's Beyonce flagrantly wearing horns in her videos, or Dua Lipa, who's actually doing Satanism in her videos. It's getting to be everywhere you look, and now they're on our streets. I don't really have an answer, because we can't stop them, unfortunately. It's becoming now socially acceptable. Satanism is now apparently an acceptable religion by the government standards, believe it or not. Um, but I don't know. But we have got to at least accept what they're doing and realize that they're actually getting flagrant. We don't have to stand for it. We don't have to like it. We certainly can discourage our children from listening to it and at least letting them know it's out there, because I don't think that they realize that it is. And that the buck has to stop with us. At least we have got to let our children know it's not okay. Um, but this is just, it's absolutely ridiculous. And we have to take the responsibility of at least letting our children know that it's not okay. And sometimes, it might mean that it might mean taking stance against our children. I know that I have it. It's not easy, but that's just the way things are. So yeah, and while we're on that, I just wanted to kind of hit on a couple of other little religious things that I like to drop little um, you know religious facts, talking about different kinds of demons. People talk about demons and they don't really understand. And I like to kind of categorize things. When while we're talking about it, why not? There actually are two kinds of different demons. There are fallen angels, demons. Those are the ones that fell with Lucifer from the heavens. Those are the ones that we really don't necessarily deal with on a daily basis. They're fallen angels, and they actually are more um, hierarchical. They're more the organization ones. They're the ones that actually work with Satan, as far as on a high level of kind of working on organizational things, trying to weave into government and things like that. They're the ones that try to manipulate worlds on a global level, I guess, for lack of a better reason. They're the ones that actually try to manipulate the world on a major, I guess, on a global level. They're the ones that kind of organize things. They're not the ones that you would deal with on a day-to-day basis, or they're not like the ones that would bother you, or cause problems with you. Those are unclean spirits, which are more of an offshoot from they're an offshoot from angels that long ago mated with human beings. If that they would actually be the ones that, going back to angels that actually came to Earth and actually mated with offspring from human beings. This goes back to the Book of Enoch, and they had offspring with people, and they became unclean spirits, and they're the ones actually that would be bothering people on a day-to-day basis. They're the ones that often are mistaken for ghosts. As far as the ghosts go, there really aren't any ghosts. Ghosts would be lost souls. And that's why, when you hear about ghosts, they're not really lost souls. God does not misplace souls. When people die, they move on. That's why people, when they talk about, they're this person's lost or that person's lost, God does not misplace souls. Whenever you're dealing with seances, that's why you should stay away from them, because they're not lost people. When you hear about, this person's lost their way, they need to find the light. God does not misplace souls. Your lost grandmother or your lost aunt, they're demons pretending to be lost souls. God does not misplace people. When they're dead, they go on. That's just a demon trying to possess you or trying to possess an item. There are not lost souls roaming away. Those are just demons that are trying to possess people. There are not lost souls. Again, those are demons trying to cause mischief. And again, those would be the unclean spirits, which are demons. That's why you got to stay away from Ouija boards or any kind of seances. Those are all demons that are trying to fool you. So anytime you're talking to anything like that, stay away. You are not talking to any, and you see this in some of the movies. Like I said, a lot of those stuff you deal with the Warrens. they were good people. I think a lot of times they didn't quite understand what they're dealing with, but they do tell you, that when you deal with a doll, there's a 3-year-old girl in it, or they were right. No, 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 that's not a 3-year-old girl in there. That's a demon. And that's why they'd lock up like the Annabelle doll. There's not a 3-year-old or a 6-year-old girl saying she's lost. Stay away if that's a demon lying to you. That's why you lock up the Annabelle doll. That's not a lost girl. That's a demon lying to you. Lock it up. They were right about that kind of stuff. Like I said, I might disagree with a lot of the Warrens' methods, but they were right about, when you see a doll saying it's a little girl, no, 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 that's a demon. Lock it up. But anyway, they're getting off the Warrens. So yeah, the unclean spirits are, you don't mess with those either. So anyway, that's that. And the last piece I want to get to is a little trivia that's kind of interesting. I found it interesting. Back in the days with Moses, during the Yom Kippur, there was a celebration where they would get 2 goats. There would be one goat that would be offered as a sacrifice to the Lord, and there would be another goat that would be symbolically, the hands would be placed on it, and that all the sins of the community would be on the second goat. So the second goat would be where all the sins of the people would be placed on it, and the first goat would be the one that would be sacrificed to the Lord. And again, this was all done in the first time with Moses in the desert with the Lord. And this could be found. Trying to think, was it in Exodus, or was this in? I'm not sure. I think it might be in Numbers. I really should look that up. But I'm talking about specifically in the King James version. I do know that. Anyway, the second sheep was called Azazel, I think. Anyway, which translates as a scapegoat. And the scapegoat, when it had all the sins on it, was set loose in the wilderness to take all the sins away while the first goat was killed. And the translation from the King James Version translated that to be scapegoat. And the scapegoat got away into the wilderness and didn't get killed. And thus the phrase scapegoat came from the King James Version, the goat that got away. Thus the phrase scapegoat in our English language came from the King James translation from the Yom Kippur, the tradition in the King James Version of the sacrifice of the Yom Kippur in King James. So that's why we have a scapegoat expression in the English language. I thought it was pretty interesting. So there you have it. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. So I hopefully that's interesting, and hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And that's it for now. And I hope you guys come again. Take care. This is Reverend Bill saying, hope you have a great rest of the week.